Yes, people, welcome to Eagle Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Arsenal just schooled Real Madrid to book a place into the Champions League semi-final spot. We're going to be facing none other than PSG. There's a lot of topics to discuss after the game, and I had to bring somebody in to discuss these topics. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button, and let's get the show started the right way, as always. People talking about combined 11s in the chat. You know what? Some of you guys owe me an apology for making fun of my combined 11s because some of these players, Bukayo Saka showed levels to Rodrigo. I think he's closer. I think he might be better than Vini. Forget about Rodrigo because the way that he played over those two legs and the way that Vini played. But let me bring Hooks in. Hooks, bro, what are you saying, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Just a lot of people told me that we could never defeat Real Madrid in their 15 UCLs, and funnily enough, quite ironic, we beat them 1-5. so so yeah, man. How about that? How about them apples? That's what I tell people now. How about them apples?
5-1 on aggregate is crazy. I don't think anyone would have predicted Arsenal beating them 5-1. Arsenal beating them, though, in the first leg, I think people did not respect Arsenal going into this tie and what we'd be capable of doing. Real Madrid, 15 Champions Leagues, apparently holds more weight than football conversations.
Yeah. 100%. Like I keep on telling people, yeah, this heritage thing is a facade because they don't. It's not like all their 15 UCLs were on the bench and they were getting plus 10 stat boost from all of those UCLs. It don't mean nothing, man. It's a facade. The reason why Real Madrid have been able to do what Real Madrid do over the years is because of their match winners. But they came up against a system that said, you know what? We know what your match winners thrive at. We know what they excel at. And we're just not going to give you that space. There's going to be no space for Rodrigo, Vini, or Jude, or Mbappe to run into. So, yeah, we just locked them out, man. That low block, mid block, catch them on the break. I think the Martinelli goal at the end was like a perfect example of like how we set up to beat them in this tie. And let's have it right. If Saliba and Raya don't make that mistake, it's another clean sheet.
And bro, our Champions League campaign has been outstanding. I don't think people realize we've only lost one game, drawn two games, and the rest have all been victories.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that, let's get into the game. Let's get into the game, and I want to get into the thoughts of Hooks and some of the talking points that came out of this game. So the first talking point I'm going to go to is Bukayo Saka's missed penalty. What did you think about the Bukayo Saka missed penalty? First of all, did you even think it was a penalty? Because a lot of people are saying it wasn't a penalty. I seen the Real Madrid fan Faisal saying this is a robbery. Arsenal should have never been given a penalty in the first place. And I thought to myself, you know what? He did pull him down. And if that's the rule, that's the rule. It might have been soft, but it was a rightfully deserved penalty in my opinion. But hey, I'm biased. I'm an Arsenal fan. People are gonna say I'm biased, but I thought it was a penalty. I don't know about you.
I think it was for me, it was definitely a penalty. It's a soft penalty. We don't see those, we don't like this is the thing, like what happens to Arsenal near enough every single Premier League game. And we never get them in the Premier League. But it's just in European football, the refereeing standards are a bit different. Whereas in the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, they view that as a penalty. In the Premier League, they're a bit more lenient. So he does pull him down, and I do think it is a penalty. I feel like anyone saying that it's not a penalty, like if it was their player getting dragged down, they'd be like, that's a penalty. Or if it was vice versa, they'd be like, oh, robbed and all them things there. But it's a clear penalty. You know what I mean? Harsh. I agree. Very harsh to give that penalty. But it's a definitely deserved penalty. And I'll be honest, like, it's not like that penalty changed the game. Like, it didn't change the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arsenal. So what I mean is, like, in the sense that even if we scored that penalty, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we was gonna win this tie regardless of that penalty decision or not. Like, I just feel like it's a salty talking point for rivals, innit? Like, and I feel like like I said, any
I've
other
seen
team,
people point scoring online already.
yeah,
I
yeah,
see people point scoring already. Speaking about Bukayo Saka missing penalties, missing penalties in the Euros. You seen Ches in the group chat talking shit. Euros, title race, UCL. He can't handle the pressure. This is what people are talking about. But you know what comes next, right? You know what
yeah,
comes next, right? The opening goal.
yeah,
The
yeah,
opening goal.
yeah.
But and you take it away. What'd you think? Bukayo Saka, he tried to chip the keeper for the penalty, but then says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna chip him in regular time," and then
So do you know
the
what? Yeah,
crowd.
but like for me, so when Bukayo Saka took that penalty, yeah, I was shocked because I was like, I've never seen Saka do a Panenka ever, never seen it, and the time he decides to do it is arguably in the most like pressurized moment like you could ever choose to do it against one of the best keepers, which some people say even the best keeper in world football. And Bukayo Saka said it best himself. If it goes in, everyone calls him a genius. If it didn't go in, everyone's angry. So it is what it is. But he redeemed himself. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing about it was the reaction. Like, because he could have easily mashed that up and he could have dropped, his confidence could have dropped, and we could be looking at a completely and entirely different result in this game. But he just showed again why all us Arsenal fans put him on the pedestal that I think he deserves to be put on. Like, to miss a penalty at the Bernabeu and then to go and just chip, think it over Courtois at the Bernabeu, that for me, that's a mentality monster right there. Like, that's a mentality monster right there, you know. And
Can I say one thing? We need to stop doing this thing where we act like Bukayo Saka is not as good as he actually is. Because he plays for Arsenal and you rivals don't like Arsenal, you want to put down Bukayo Saka. But be honest with yourself. When he plays for England, he shows on the World Cup stage, on the Euro stage, he's one of the best players in that
yeah,
position in the world. He went up against Real Madrid, who have Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham,
mm.
Rodrigo, and Vini. And I swear to God, he was better than every single one of them on the pitch. He was
Oh,
better
not
than
even.
Mbappe. He was better than Rodrigo. He was better than Vini. I think people need to stop talking about Rodrigo and Saka and let's have an honest conversation about over the two legs who was more impactful, Bukayo Saka or Vinicius Jr. Forget about
I,
Rodrigo. I'm no longer having Rodrigo and Saka debates. I'm now having Vinicius Jr. and Saka debates. I think Saka over these two legs showed he has more to his game than Vini. Vini is a clinical finisher, but he don't actually build up and create out of nowhere. Like majority of the goals that Real Madrid score is created from the midfield and giving the ball to the players in dangerous areas. Bukayo Saka is given the ball and he's asked to cook and just do your thing. And he's literally doing it from scratch. It's like having a chef who has frozen meals to somebody who has friggin' has to make it from scratch, has to make the sauce from scratch, has to make the pasta from scratch. But Saka is always cooking from scratch. He's
I,
doing
just-
everything.
I just think, yeah, like, because even before the tie, yeah, like he was asked, like, obviously I'm paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of, where do you rank in terms of like Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius, and like, what do you think you need to do to get to their level? How far away from them are you? And he basically said, yeah, I do my talking on the pitch.
No, he
And
said in what terminology or whatever? What did they
yeah,
say?
yeah,
They they're like
but he's
they're like
alluded.
in what terms? In what terms?
Yeah,
Like what do you mean? I think he got mad.
yeah, he got mad. Yeah, and he's basically just alluded to the fact that cool, like, yeah, everyone's gonna have their opinions, but yeah, I do my thing on the pitch. And over the tie, he was better than all of them. All of them. Like, and it wasn't even close. And he's not even fully fit. He's not even fully fit. Like, for like, don't get me wrong. I think over the two ties, Declan Rice was clear of everybody, in my personal opinion. Over the tie, like what he was really and truly the brother that put us in this position and then allowed us to go through to the semi-final. But Bukayo Saka won both the free kicks and scored at the Bernabeu. But now but man are gonna like now man are gonna swift and swerve and take the conversation to a different place. But every time Saka's compared to someone, he always outperforms them when it comes to playing on the pitch against them. All the time. Like there's never been someone he's compared to, and then he gets outperformed by them on the pitch. And on top of everything, like it's not just what he did going forward. Him and Martinelli played a very crucial role in keeping Madrid out of the game offensively. Because Mbappe, he don't track back. Vinny Jr. don't track back. Rodrigo, they don't help out defensively. Saka does what he does going forward. Same with Martinelli, and they do equally as good going the other way, which makes it hard for other forwards when they play Arsenal to shine the way that our forwards do. So, like, I just think, well, we don't have to do it because we don't disrespect Saka because obviously, like, rivals don't watch every Arsenal game. They watch a lot of them because there's a lot of hate watchers for Arsenal, but they don't watch in the same way that an Arsenal fan does. Like, I've watched Bukayo Saka on the screen. I've watched Bukayo Saka in highlights. I've watched Bukayo Saka on the training pitch. I've watched Bukayo Saka in person, bro. And this brother is the prime example, that it's not just about talent. Hard work, effort has to play a part as well. Mbappe, talented. Vinny, talented. Rodrigo, talented. As a natural footballer, you can even argue that they're clear of Saka, but they don't back it up with the hard work.
Let's talk about some other topics also. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about Declan Rice. People are now saying Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the world after what he did versus Real Madrid. By the way, he on that same pitch with Camavinga, Chouameni, Luka Modric, Valverde, Bellingham, he is outperforming all of them, winning man of the match in both legs.
Crazy.
Man of the match in both legs. I think Declan Rice, this performance that Declan Rice had, back-to-back man of the matches against Real Madrid, is the stuff of legends in the sense that this is the kind of thing that when Conte won Chelsea the Champions League, this is the kind of stuff you see when Rodri won Man City the Champions League. These are the kind of performances that players put in when they win you these trophies. And Declan Rice's performances over these two legs have been stuff of legendary season, career defining. Those two free kicks versus Real Madrid in the first leg are his two best goals of his career. And these two performances are two of his best ever performances in his career. And it can only get better from here. West Ham, honestly, you gave him to us on a discount. This guy's way more than a £100 million player.
I don't know if his first free kick is better than the screamer that he scored against West Ham. I don't know. But I mean, obviously in terms of like gravity of the game, then yeah, when you factor that in, gravity of the game, then yeah, maybe so. But do you know what the funny thing is about Declan Rice? Everybody slews him for this. It's always this reason. He can't pick up the ball on the half turn and then progress the ball forward with a line breaking pass. That's literally the thing that everybody says to kind of discredit Declan Rice when putting him up against other midfielders that play in his role.
But can I say something? He doesn't need to do that because he can run past everybody. It's not
even that. Like, if you watch him, he actually does pick up the ball on the half turn, but he's not like not every midfielder plays the same. That's the first thing. Not everybody midfielder plays the same, and it's not only picking up the ball on the half turn and breaking lines that make a midfielder a great midfielder. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other factors to the game. Like, yeah, you can say all these other midfield. Like, let's use Caicedo for an example. On the ball, I don't even think it's a conversation to say that Caicedo is technically more gifted than Declan Rice. Yeah, but he doesn't do all the other things that Declan Rice does. Declan Rice covers so much ground. Declan Rice is a horse. He's an engine for the whole game, minute 1 to minute 90. Declan Rice's ability to carry the ball and drive with the ball from midfield is unrivaled. His ability to intercept high up the pitch, unrivaled. His hard work and effort is unrivaled, and his ability to deliver the ball from dead ball scenarios, unrivaled. And now another string he's added to his bow, he can score from dead ball scenarios. So I don't think that. I just think that when people now talk about Declan Rice, they need to, the conversation needs to be different. Like, they need to start factoring in other things, and they also need to understand this brother went from being a centre back to then being a DM. Because remember, at West Ham, from time to time he would drive forward, but that wasn't his instruction. He wasn't instructed to do so. At Arsenal last season, he played a balance of at the 6 and at the 8. This season, he's played mainly at the 8. Yeah. And people forget he's learning this role. All of the responsibilities of the role that he now has, this is really his first season of him implementing it. And look how good he's doing it. He came to Arsenal, and his first season, he had his best ever season of his career in terms of GA. And then in the very next season, he's carrying it on, and he's actually on track to have a better season than last season in terms of GA. So he's consistently impacting the game going
and
forward. Improving. And I'll be real, his leadership is mad. His leadership is mad. Like, I don't know what more you could want from a midfielder. I'll be so real. I don't know what more you could want from a midfielder.
Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button right now if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, come join us on YouTube, guys. And check out Hook's channel also. Halftime Hooks as always. But before we go any further, the next topic, bro, we got to talk about Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino has come into this Arsenal team, played as a striker. He's outscored in the last 8 games. In the last couple games, he has 6 goals. 6 goals. And he has outscored the likes of Vinny, Lukaku, Haaland, Ali Watkins, Harry Kane, Salah, Alexander Isak, Rafinha, Lemar. Bro, this man, if he was a January signing, would be considered one of the best January signings. The way that he's playing since the turn of the new year, since the injury, and February 22nd when he started playing as a striker, can you believe this was never a position he ever played before in his career? Can you believe that he's never done this before in his career? And he's come into this Arsenal team, and in the last whatever many games, he has been able to put in performance after performance after performance to the point where he has 6 goals, 3 assists since February 15th, playing at striker for Arsenal. Mikel Merino deserves a lot of respect because over the 2 legs, he had a better offensive performance at striker than Kylian Mbappe did.
And something else about like Merino when he plays in the 9 for Arsenal, he gives us a mad tactical advantage as well because naturally he drops mad deep. So it's not only we have, for example, Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Partey in the midfield. We actually have Myles Lewis-Skelly who inverts and then adds a 4th body to our midfield. And then you have Merino who drops so deep that effectively we have 5 bodies in the center of the park. We basically always overload the midfield.
And you notice that in defense because look at where Mikel Merino picked up the ball in the final play of the game. He picked it up literally in the center back position.
He's actually doing what Arteta wants Havertz to do. That Havertz does do sometimes, but he doesn't do it as consistently as Mikel Merino. And I think, like, because look, me personally, like, I praise Arteta when I feel like he needs to be praised, and I criticize him when I feel like he needs to be criticized. But the one thing that I think we need to acknowledge, is that Arteta identified, that Mikel Merino has, I guess, all of the natural traits that he wants from the person that's playing the 9 for him. He's just never played the 9. So he took a gamble. He said, cool, you do this, you do that, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna trust you to play the 9. He could have easily said, you know what? Havertz is out now. Trossard is going to be our 9 going forward. But he believed in his system. He believed in his kind of his ideology and his ideals on football. And he went, you know what, Mikel Merino, I know you're a midfielder, but you're kind of what I need up top. And Mikel Merino,
somebody asked me, AFTV James, I seen him asking people on social media a question. And his question was, what is the end goal of playing Mikel Merino at striker for so long now that Martinelli's back? And now I get it. You just said it. The end goal is to have another player who can play in the left 8 and they can drift into the striker position when need be and can rotate so we have that interchangeability, the players who can drift into different areas of the pitch and help each other out. Also, Mikel Merino could play the 10. Mikel Merino got 2 assists in this game. One of the assists that he got for Martinelli, bro, that was a perfectly weighted pass into the dangerous area. Martinelli did a great job getting the goal. But let's be honest, on the counterattack, Mikel Merino was better in that moment than what Martin Odegaard was doing for majority of the game.
Odegaard was dead for the whole Odegaard was dead for the whole time. But
let's talk about Odegaard.
I wouldn't have Merino. I would never start Merino as a 10 because I feel like as a 10 you need to be more.
What's the difference between him playing as the 9?
Well, the 9 is different because you have different responsibilities within the role. Like he's a good hold-up player. Like he can play with his back to the goal. Like he's physical. He can win his duels. Like and he can hold up the ball and bring other players in. I feel like the 10 needs to be like you need to be better facing the goal. Like you need to be more mobile. You need to be more tricky. You need to be able to work quicker in tighter spaces, which Merino will never be able to do because of his size, just naturally. But
what do you think about Martin Odegaard's performance? And everybody in the chat, this is not a positive. This is just a fair reaction to Martin Odegaard's performance. He got mixed reactions from his performance. Some people calling him dog shit. Some people saying, you know what? In a game where everyone looked good, how is it that our captain is having such a bad game? And you know what? There's even some of the biggest Arsenal like positive accounts coming out and saying Martin Odegaard is a problem. Arsenal, this is where Arsenal need to upgrade. Other people are saying Odegaard is scared of pressure. Some other people are saying Odegaard's reaction to the games. Another person said Martin Odegaard doesn't do enough in these moments. Another person saying Martin Odegaard, no, I know you can do much better than this. Also, some people just saying, you know what, he's just not built to play in a team that is not recycling the ball for a majority of the game and playing on the counter. When we play on the counter, Martin Odegaard is single-handedly ruining the counterattacks.
Yep, it's true. Like it's just true. Like it's becoming very frustrating to watch as well because he slows down everything. Like there's so many times where if he just drove forward, because look, he's not the fastest of players, but if you just drive forward, like it's better to drive forward and potentially lose the ball higher up the pitch in a safer zone than always picking up the ball, delaying and trying to turn back and losing the ball in a more dangerous position. Like he does it. He does this really annoying thing where he will have the ball in a I guess a positive forward position. He will not progress forward. He will turn back. He will pass the ball backwards, which allows all of the players to get back into their shape. And then the ball will get recycled over to one side of the pitch. And he will purposefully run as far away from wherever the person who has the ball is. And then he'll call for the ball. And then he'll get annoyed when the ball doesn't come to him. But there's like a good 5-6 players in between him and the ball. I don't understand how you can ever expect it to get back to you. Like he needs to become that player that, cool, passing off the ball is not a problem. But if you pass off the ball, move into a position where the player can get it back to you within 2-3 touches. Don't pass the ball and then run away. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is what I
To
think.
be fair, he did pass the ball to Merino before he played the ball for Bukayo Saka. Like, he was involved in the game. But the thing about him that made me frustrated is more when we don't have possession and he gets onto the ball. He seems to be a great passer, but when it comes to making quick decisions, sometimes he holds onto the ball that extra second and he doesn't make the quicker decisions. That can be coached. I don't think it's something that you can improve on as a player. I think proper coaching and getting him to release the ball quicker can make him play better on the counter, because we have seen him do well on the counter in the past. But it's just this game, anytime we were on the counter, he was more focused on holding on to possession than getting the ball quick up the pitch, which was frustrating.
But he's always that way. Do you know what? Yeah, the only season that I can sort of recollect briefly off the top of my head of him like helping our transition is the 22-23 season. Outside of that, like you can even look at statistically. If you look at it statistically, like the majority of his passes are always going to the left. This is like just a statistical fact. Like, and that's consistent throughout all of his seasons at Arsenal. So it's not even just a problem of not progressing the ball forward. It's also a problem that our best offensive player is on the right-hand side of the pitch, but the majority of your passes go to the left. So imagine if the majority of his passes went to the right, we might actually do better because he's actually feeding the person who's our best offensive player. So look, the where I'll give him a tiny bit of slack is maybe if we played with a striker that likes to run in behind, maybe he would play more forward passes.
Let me talk to you about another problem we have. This is a problem right here. Thomas Partey's yellow card. 84th minute. I swear to you, they gave him the yellow card because he squared up with Rudiger. And it's like, what the hell are you doing, Thomas Partey?
I don't mind that, to be
honest. The yellow card, now he misses the game versus PSG, bro.
Yeah, but he misses the home game. I think we can win the home game without Partey.
Jorginho's going to have to play.
Well, it might even be Jorginho. Like, Arteta might just go, you know what, I'll play a double pivot of Rice and Skelly, or Rice and Merino, or basically, this isn't a concern for me because he will be back for the away time. If we was doing the away time first, it'd be a problem.
And the final, if we get to it. Okay, so it's not the end of the world, but it did kind of ruin my mood. I felt like that was one thing that ruined my mood from the game. Quickly, the refereeing performance was amazing. I thought that was one of the best refereeing performances I've seen from a referee in a long time, and it was nice and refreshing to not have to watch the Premier League referees mess it up every 2 seconds. This referee and the referee on VAR, they had themselves an amazing performance. And bro, it was some tough calls, giving a penalty, taking away a penalty decision, and taking away a yellow card that would have meant Declan Rice would have missed the next tie. What a performance he had, and what a performance the VAR referee had. The two of them were on point. And for people who say, why doesn't the Premier League bring in referees from other leagues? I honestly don't know. I think they just want the monopoly that they currently have over the decision making.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, like, it's not even that the ref had like an amazing performance or anything like that. I just think it's good to watch a game of football that isn't constantly being like mashed up by foolishness. Like, because I watch a lot of Premier League games, and it's not just the Arsenal games that this happens, but I get the feeling that referees in the Premier League want drama. Like, I get that feeling that they want drama. I get that feeling that they wanna have a bit of the limelight. Whereas when I'm watching European games, I don't get that feeling so much. Like, the mere fact that I didn't really notice the referee in the game, this is what football should be about. I shouldn't notice the referee. The referee should never be one of the things on my mind when the game's done and it's wrapped up. Like, this is a perfect example. And obviously it's like, it's contextual in it, because obviously the Real Madrid fans are probably like, raw, like, this referee was shit. Do you know what I mean? But so there's always going to be those biases. But me personally, and I feel like a lot of neutrals would have watched this game and gone, "Raw, the referee actually let it flow. The referee didn't really impact the game negatively in any way, shape, or form." And yeah, man, just great to see, and hopefully can see more of it, man.
The next thing, Myles Lewis-Skelly. We got to talk about Lewis-Skelly, bro. Holy shit, what a performance Lewis-Skelly had. What a performance Timber had. Should we talk about them separately first, though? Before we talk about it, let's talk about Lewis-Skelly. Bro, did you see Lewis-Skelly's post after the game?
No. I don't think I did.
He posted 4 pictures. He posted him gliding past some of these players.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Rudiger stepping on him. And just his overall like images of him just gliding past players. This guy is 18 years old and he don't care. He's there, he's ready, and he's not scared of nobody. I absolutely love Myles Lewis-Skelly, man. This kid is amazing. He's a rising star. He's gonna win PFA Young Player of the Year next year, probably. This guy is already showing he's going to be there and thereabouts for the next 3 years. Imagine in 3 years' time, he's only going to be 21.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's actually crazy. And do you know what? Like I said in the preseason that I think Myles Lewis-Skelly is gonna have a more impactful and better season than Ethan Nwaneri. I feel like Myles Lewis-Skelly is more suited to the Premier League. And I feel like he'll have a more natural kind of bedding in than Nwaneri, just because of the profile that Myles Lewis-Skelly has. And I've been proven right.
Look at this, Hooks. Before the game, everyone is nervous. Man is on his phone smiling, and they caught a picture of him smiling on his phone.
Yeah, because he's gassed. Like this was, well, I don't want to say his first like real big test, but because obviously an 18-year-old started in the Premier League is a test in itself. But to play Real Madrid over 2 legs and to look like a seasoned veteran in both of those games, that just shows you how class of a player he is. He's so mature. He's mentally, he's so strong. He's not fazed by anything. And like he is arguably the left back that Arteta has been searching for.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Will he ever get a game at midfield? Because I think if he plays in midfield, he could kill it too.
I think he will. I think he will naturally progress into the midfield. I think we also need to factor in, like, when it does come to the point where Arteta does leave the club, I think whoever picks up the squad next will play Skelly as a midfielder.
Arteta's not going nowhere, Hooks.
What? No, he will eventually leave. Like, he's not going to stay Arsenal.
Eventually, but we're talking about 7 years down the line. I think Arteta's going to be here for like 14 plus years.
I don't know personally. I don't know how. I don't know if that will happen. But like,
okay, let's talk about Arteta then, bro. Arteta just outclassed Carlo Ancelotti over 2 legs, and we're talking about him potentially leaving. Hooks, what are we doing, bro?
I mean, like, I'm talking about from the sense that, like, in isolation, this tie is amazing, but if it amounts to nothing at the end of the season, then it's another season of winning nothing. So,
what if he wins the Champions League? He becomes our 3rd most historic manager in the recent eras.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, I'm talking about in the scenario where he wins the Champions League, then yeah, you will be here.
He's getting a statue next to Arsene Wenger and Herbert Chapman.
Like, maybe so, but like all I know is like, if he doesn't go on to win the Champions League now, from being in what I would call a very favorable position, like we're playing against a PSG side that, yeah, like when we played them back when, they weren't in as scintillating form as they are now, but they still play the same way. And the reason why we beat PSG is because at a tactical level, we just completely blew them out of the water. I expect Arteta to do the exact same thing, especially in the home tie against PSG again. But if he doesn't win the Champions League, then Arsenal fans have to accept the fact that it's another season of not getting over the line. And
okay, let's talk about PSG then. You know we're gonna beat PSG, right?
I think we go through to the final.
We're better than PSG, and physicality wise, they can't deal with our physicality. They're a bunch of skinny guys. The midfield,
but But
the
they have.
midfield skinny. Their forwards are skinny. They can just get brushed off the pitch, bro. I think Arsenal is too physically overpowering for PSG. I'm looking at PSG and I'm saying to myself, just
People say that
analyzing
about
the
Barca
game.
though.
Just the cheapest analyzation I'm going to give of the game is Arsenal defensively are solid. Arsenal are physically superior to PSG, and they're going to struggle physically to keep up with us.
But that's
Physically, they're not going to be able to do it.
But you could have said the same thing about Barca back in their prime. Like they Iniesta short, Xavi short, small, Busquets skinny, not really. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have massive frame. Messi short, like Neymar skinny, like do you know what I mean? Suarez short, like they're like for me, yeah. It's not about the physicality. Like the way that PSG move the ball, their patterns of play are crazy. They have players that have such individual ability at such mad levels that at any point they basically have people that can just change the game. Like they have, for example, Kvara could just have a moment of magic and there's a goal. Dembele, moment of magic, then there's a goal. I think we beat them, but I don't think we can gas it up to such an extent that like we're playing Southampton or we're playing Leicester. Like PSG's midfield, I would argue, is one of the best midfields in the world.
Name them.
Vitinha, Neves, and Ruiz.
We played Neves, Vitinha, and what's the kid's name? Zaire Emery, and they didn't get a chance. I think Arteta tactically.
Yeah, but that's a different midfield.
Let me just have a conversation. Arteta tactically is so much more of a flexible manager. He has different ways of playing, and I do think the way that we would play versus PSG would be to allow them to have the ball, and we would set up with a more defensive shape and let them have the possession. Now, when we get our opportunities, we have to be clinical. As for the PSG, they have defensive vulnerabilities. We can capitalize on their defensive vulnerabilities. Now, they do have good fullbacks, but defensively through the middle, they can get got at, right? Vitinha and Zaire Emery battling versus Declan Rice. Declan Rice is going to be able to shield the defense.
Zaire Emery's not going to be playing in the midfield though.
Oh, okay. So forget about Zaire Emery. Vitinha versus Declan Rice. It's going to be a situation where I feel like Declan Rice will be able to shield the defense better. He'll be able to neutralize whatever they're trying to create in their midfield. And overall, Arsenal's midfield is going to be superior to them based on the ability that we have with the physicality and the strength. Now, if you want to say technically they're better than us, technically like their ability on the ball, their touches, everything they can do.
They work horses as well, though.
But there's one more thing: set pieces. We are now going to be able to see Arsenal come back and utilize set pieces a little bit better again, because we seen in the first leg how they were shaking it. How we made that their keeper is not that great. But Arsenal, we have two things we have to worry about. We need to worry about what our mindset and mentality is going to be in going into that game, because what we've shown versus Real Madrid, if we can show that again, I'm confident we're going to win. Home field advantage. If we can go at home and get that advantage once again, we're going to be through to the final. But the key players I'm looking at, Saka, Nunes. How is Nunes going to stop Bukayo Saka? How is Bukayo Saka going to destroy Nunes? Because he did a good job versus Salah. That's what I need to see. Saliba locked down Mbappe. Can he now do the same thing versus Dembele? Let's see what we can do there. And the final thing, can we slow down the chaos of PSG? Because PSG have so much chaos. They cause so much headaches. Destiny Odegaard, Barcola, Timber, and Myles Lewis-Skelly are going to have a massive job on that team. And if I analyze the PSG-Arsenal matchup early, bro, I'm saying Arsenal win. And I'm saying Arsenal go through probably like PSG maybe score one goal at best. Arsenal probably go through maybe 3 or 4 in aggregate.
Wait. Do you think we'll have a 3-4 goal lead on them on aggregate?
Yeah, because I think defensively we're going to be so solid. The moment we get a goal, PSG are not going to have a sniff on goal the rest of the game. They don't know how to break down low blocks like we or they won't know how to break down a mid block that we are going to play against them. They faced teams in
they broke down the low block of Aston Villa.
Bro,
Something that we can't. Something that we can't do.
Aston Villa had to chase the game, and when Aston Villa chased the game,
I'm talking about the first leg.
when Aston Villa actually chased the game and attacked, they got slapped.
I'm talking about the first leg.
Bro,
Where they won
PSG in the
3-1.
second game showed they don't have defensive capabilities to make Arsenal weak. They don't. Inter is the only team that scares me left in the competition. PSG, they don't scare me.
Barcelona doesn't scare you.
Barcelona suits us. Barcelona suits us more.
There you go, man.
We are more suited to play against Barcelona than we are against Inter. Inter causes way more problems, bro.
Like, all I'm gonna say is I think we go through against PSG, but that midfield of PSG, I don't think man understand how wavy it is. Like, it's not even just about their technical ability, they're workhorses. Or basically, they're like, they've got the exact same energy levels and stamina and workhorse ability of Declan Rice, but they're all technical demons.
Who are you talking about again? PSG or
yeah, PSG, Vitinha, workhorse for the entire game. Neves, workhorse for the entire game. Ruiz, workhorse for the entire game. All of them technically mad.
When Arsenal settle a good defensive block, you're not breaking it down. It doesn't matter if you have workhorses.
But it doesn't. But the thing is, this defensive block you're talking about, it doesn't matter because what we do to teams, they do to teams. We move the ball around to take teams out, to force teams to break their shape. That is exactly what the PSG midfield do.
PSG, they do not approach games anywhere similar to what we approach games. They are a team that will try to outscore you and try to outgun you. We are not a team that will try to outscore you and try to outgun you. We will try to be controlling and we will try to just get whatever margin we can and hold on to it. Where PSG, they're up 1-0, they're going for 2. They're up 2-0, they're going for 3. It's 2-1, they're going for 3. They're not worried about protecting their 2-1 lead. Where Arsenal, if we get a 1-goal lead versus PSG, they won't know how to break us down. We can just literally shut up shop. And even though they got Lewis-Skelly, Dembele, all these guys, it's going to have to be moments of brilliance, individual brilliance to get them a goal. Because outside of that, we're a better set up team defensively than them.
I just hope that we kill the tie in the first leg at the Emirates, personally.
You know what's while we're talking about defenses, Kiwior, he deserves a shout out, bro.
Yeah, he played really well over both ties as well. And like
him and Saliba's partnership is growing.
Yeah, both legs people were telling me Mbappe versus Kiwior is going to be long, but in both legs he shot out and kept Mbappe quiet. A fun fact, Saliba and Kiwior have never lost a game playing with each other.
I know, I heard about that last time. I was shocked.
Yeah, so like I just think that Kiwior, like, he's come in and he's done a very good job, like even to the point where it's made me go, oh, you know what? I haven't really missed Gabriel. I haven't noticed that Gabriel's not there. That's how good he's been playing. So
we haven't missed him because we played so well defensively. But let's be honest. Obviously, Gabriel's a miss. It's just Kiwior has done such a great job.
He hasn't been a miss.
Kiwior has done a great job, where to the point where he's made us feel like Gabriel hasn't been away for too long.
Yeah, and that like not only is that good for us as Arsenal fans, that's a very
good for the transfer budget. Because in that case, if Kiwior does this well, someone's going to want to come and buy him for more money.
He's definitely raising his cost.
He's definitely raising his value. 100%. I agree. And do we keep playing Saliba and Kiwior in the league also? Or do you rest Saliba at some point?
If I see Saliba or Timber or Rice or Saka playing any more than 30 minutes against Ipswich, I'm going to be vexed.
Why? Aren't we going to play a decent lineup at least?
Why?
We still need to win some of these games, bro. Newcastle's on.
Yeah, but we can beat Ipswich without them, man. So I don't understand why we play them against Ipswich.
Okay. So who do you play versus Ipswich?
I don't know. Maybe Raya in goal, Ben White right back. Kiwior and Calafiori's coming back, so maybe give him some minutes. Maybe play him in the defense. To me, it doesn't really matter. Maybe even play one of the youngsters. Who gives a shit? Left back, you can keep Skelly there, or if you want to play Calafiori left back or Zinchenko, just play one of them. Midfield, again, I don't really give a shit. Like, I honestly, I just don't care. Like, I just like. If I like at this point, if I need all them man to beat Ipswich,
the PSG tie is not until the 29th.
The first leg.
Yeah.
Then start giving them man some rest.
So you're resting everybody.
Like for me, not everybody, but like I just don't make them play full 90s. I don't understand why they are, especially against Ipswich. Do you know what I mean?
Don't they need some match fitness?
Yeah, but like you said, the 29th, like, bro, it's the 7th. Well, actually, 12 days. That's not too far away. That's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks. Well, I don't know. I just don't see why you have to play them against it's Ipswich, bro. Like it's at this point, I would just say, just bun the
so
Premier
David
League.
Raya starting. Right back, you're putting Ben White.
I'd even play Neto. Bun the Premier League at this point. It doesn't matter.
No, he might want to win the Golden Glove. Anyways, so we're gonna put right back Ben White, left back. You're saying who?
Anybody, bro. Myles, Lewis-Skelly, Calafiori, Zinchenko. It don't matter, bro.
Lewis-Skelly is not gonna play. So you're gonna put Zinchenko. I put. You know what? I'm gonna put Kieran Tierney. I'm gonna put Zinchenko in the mid. I'm gonna put Zinchenko in the midfield because he did that the last game. So you throw Zinchenko in the midfield. The centre back partnership is going to be Timber and Timber and Kiwior.
You can do that.
Just to give Saliba some rest because he hasn't had any rest.
I would even like I don't even know why we're playing Timber against Ipswich, but I hear it.
All right. And for the midfield and the forward line, I'm gonna go Zini. I'm gonna go Jorginho. Get Jorginho. Hopefully Jorginho's ready. And then I'm gonna throw Odegaard up there because I need to see better performance from Odegaard. Get him more game time. Left wing Trossard. Striker is going to be. Yeah, I'm gonna throw Merino up top again.
Just play Wanyeri on the right.
Yeah, I'm playing Wanyeri on the right, of course. So this is the team. This is the team. I'm just making it right now. That's why I'm looking at away. This is the team that we've just spoken about. So if we play this team versus Ipswich, we win.
Bro, 100%, bro. It's Ipswich. Bro, they're man are 17th, bro.
Chelsea drew versus Ipswich.
We're not Chelsea. We're not Chelsea.
Ipswich have been a decent side. They've gotten a lot of points.
I don't even care if we win this game or not.
Okay, but we need to talk about the Premier League then, because the Premier League, there's a situation where we're currently second in the table. Don't you? Our Newcastle's on our ass.
Who cares, bro? Who cares, bro? I think man need to realize, we're in a scenario where we can win the Champions League for whatever reason. Voodoo, Obia, witchcraft, whatever it is. Whenever my players go into Premier League games, they get injured. So why do I care about beating Ipswich when Liverpool only have to win 2 games and then they've won the Premier League? Who gives a shit? I don't care if I finish second. I honestly don't care. Like, I would sacrifice finishing second to finish 5th or 4th or 3rd, if it meant winning the Champions League. Why am I playing my best players against Ipswich? I don't understand.
Yeah. So how many games do we have? Let's see. 1 second. Let's go back to the games. How many games do Arsenal have up until that next PSG game? So we have Ipswich and Palace. There's 2 games. You're saying Ipswich, Palace, both games, you're heavily rotating. Yeah. Because we have a whole week until the next game.
Like, when I say heavily rotating, all I don't want to see is my key players playing 90 minutes.
Okay.
They can play in these games.
Somebody's going to play 90 minutes because you can't sub off everybody.
Yeah, you can't. But you can do things like, okay, you lot started in the last game.
Would you play, since Thomas Partey has a red card, and I mean, he's not going to play the PSG game, do you play him in both Ipswich and Crystal Palace?
Whatever. It doesn't matter. You can. Yeah, you can. And then maybe
Bukayo Saka versus Palace for 90 minutes? The team that he got injured against in the first place?
No, I'm not playing Saka 90 minutes against anybody that is not in the Champions League, bro.
Are you playing Declan Rice for 90 minutes in any of these games?
No,
Do you think match fitness is not important?
At game week 34, I don't think that match fitness is an issue, bro. Like, let's be honest. At game week 34, I don't think.
Yeah, we've seen Bukayo Saka come back from an injury and ball out. So fair play. So you're basically saying rotate the fuck out of the teams from now on, and who gives a shit? And if that means we only have 4 or 5 starters each game starting, just make sure one time it's Merino, next time it's Martinelli.
Yeah.
No point is it Saka. The midfield, Partey, Odegaard can play. Don't play Rice unless you need a win. And then Saliba 1 game.
You don't need a win.
Saliba rest 1 game. Timber rest 1 game. Myles Lewis-Skelly rest a game, and then bring on somebody else at halftime.
I would personally, I would play all of my under 21s.
No, that's crazy, bro.
I would personally play all of my under 21s.
Okay, so say imagine you're on TikTok. Explain it to me like that, because right now this is crazy. How are you sitting there and saying basically throw all these games and just play youth?
Because my only focus now is winning the champion. I don't think you understand. Like, okay, we both agree.
I understand, but my thought process is
we both agree
you're gonna play. You're gonna practice in these Premier League games, and in these Premier League games. You're gonna use tactics and practice tactics that you would use versus PSG.
What? No, we're not. Arteta plays the same way all the time.
No, he doesn't. He changes depending on the opponent.
No, he does not, bro.
Yeah, he does.
He sets up the exact same way for every single game. He may make the most minor of tweaks, but the way that we play is always the same. And on top of that, what are we practicing against Ipswich and Crystal Palace that will help us against PSG, bro? Like, what are we doing?
Using your fullbacks differently?
What?
You in the attacking third, you can definitely practice things in the attacking third on how to approach a team.
Like, but this is all I'm saying, yeah.
You
and
obviously
I'm being like, okay, obviously I'm being hyperbolic when I'm saying all the under 21s, because you can't play all of them anyway. But the point I'm trying to get across is none of our best players should be playing in any of these Premier League games, because who gives a shit about the Premier League? Liverpool win 2 games, they've won the league.
Fairs. You know what? I get that. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wrap it up though, because I gotta get back to work. But I'll tell you this, Hooks. It's been a great show. It's been a great conversation. I'm happy to see you're confident and happy. Last time I had you on the channel, we were going through a hard time, and Arsenal were in a bad place, and it looked like we weren't gonna do nothing. Now at least we have something to look at the end of the season to fight for, and that is really, really positive from that perspective. But yeah, man, we appreciate all the love and support on the show. And yeah, man, hopefully we can just go strength to strength from here. You know what I mean?
100%.
You got any shows coming up?
I think I'm going to do a watch along this evening. I just haven't decided yet if I'm going to do the Tottenham game or the Man United game. Maybe I'll flip a coin, but I'm definitely going to do a watch along tonight. Yeah, maybe I'll drop a pre-record. I don't know, but that's about it, to be fair.
Fairs. All right, man. You have a good one. I'll catch you on the next one. You already know what it is. Love for the love people, and peace. What the hell's going on? Why is go check out my boy. He's live right now. Football Banter Talks. I'm gonna send you guys over there. So make sure you guys go check out his thing, as he's live right now before we go anywhere also. And yeah, Hooks, bro. Hopefully we do it, man. You believe it?
I believe until there's no longer a reason to believe.
That's all we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we can do. Anyways, people, catch you guys in the next one. Don't know. Why is it not ending?